All right, why don't we go ahead and get started? Can someone acknowledge they can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Thanks. Speaking to the abyss, you never know. So Wujong can't make it, but he did post his status. The code's ready, and the on-ramp has been upgraded, so it's now pulling down the latest Helm charts. He had tripped over something in the CI pipeline on processing the documentation. I think the rest of us have hit that previously, but this may be the first update of the RAN docs in a little while. And doing some planning work on 1.6. Is there anyone else on that has any other information relevant to SD-RAN? All right, hopefully we will be able to publicly announce this real soon now. Infra, I don't think we have DAF, but I can give a brief update on Jenkins. The bulk of the work there is we have now disabled all of the original static VMs. It was there were so many static VMs set up that it was we were running up quite an AWS bill. They've been replaced with dynamically spinning up a VM whenever you need to run the test. And most of those jobs work, but they don't all work, and the ones that work don't seem to work consistently. So there must be some timing issues we're still shaking out, but slowly but surely we will have reestablished a full set of integration tests. I don't have any updates on any other infrastructure topics. Is anybody else? Any reports of something not working as expected? Okay. I see Gabriel, I believe it is updating the SD core status. You want to jump in?
Sure. So there are kind of like three things that we have been kind of concentrated during last week. One was Bilal start opening PRs regarding the scalability components. We need to go through them because there are some there are some kind of GitHub Actions issues that need to be addressed even before we start kind of checking the changes themselves. I see that Ajay was just recently commenting in one of those PRs that probably it's going to be easier to have a call and with Bilal and go over the changes to better understand. So I already had a call with him. Probably I believe it was Sunday night, to try to explain what needs to be addressed from the GitHub Actions perspective, and then we need to go deeper into the code changes that were made.
So on the GitHub Actions, are these blockers or something that he hadn't done right?
Well, the GitHub Actions, we have them in place to make sure that everything complies with some coding guidelines, making sure that everything builds and things like that. So, so the few things that I have, as far as I remember, I think there is a couple like unused variables, especially for the util directory that we specifically talk on Sunday. He was commenting out several lines. So he was adding code, but at the same time, that code was commented out. So it didn't make much sense to me, and that's what I wanted to kind of have a better understanding. So he was saying that he has that code commented out because he needs to kind of align with Ajay to make sure that those changes should be there or not. So, but for example, since the code was commented out, he also added a variable that was used in the code that was commented out, but the GitHub action was complaining, says, this variable is unused, which makes sense because the rest of the code was commented out. So those kind of things.
Hey, thanks. I was just concerned that maybe there were some shortcomings in the GitHub actions were blocking things, but the GitHub's doing exactly what it should.
No, GitHub is doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
no, there is no issues on that regards. Yeah, so that's kind of like from the scalability part. The other part is based on kind of what we discussed over Slack. Concentrate on this release since Bilal is already opening the PRs for the scalability. So, we are planning to put together the scalability plus the faster logger, which is SAP, as a part of one release. And then after that, move into the release 18, the rest of the code, having this scalability already there, right? So based on that, also, I start kind of like working on this replacement of the logger. So most of the auxiliary repositories already have this SAP logger. We created new images and new releases basically for these repositories. Well, no images, releases for these repositories, and I'm currently in the on the process of kind of like enabling also this or replacing log rules with SAP for the EDFs. So then we can, have these two things combined together as the next release, and then move into the release 18 upgrade. What else? Yeah. So the other part.
So there were many changes which got merged in last week, right? One of the
Yes.
came in from Canonical about metrics. Metrics in like various network functions. I remember about NRF, NSSF.
No, but
possibly PC.
NRF is still open, right? So NSSF you just merge, but I don't remember if there
NRF
is.
also I approved.
Okay.
Yeah, but for some reason, since I committed one of the change there, it's not allowing me to merge. Maybe you have to take that merge thing now.
No. I mean, if you are not the primary author of the PR, you should even if you add additional commits, you should be able to actually
okay, maybe then
merge. Let me take a quick look. So
okay.
you're talking about the NRF, right?
Yeah. Then
okay, so
set of change. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
The issue is highly likely you merge without the DCO, without the sign flag. Yeah, so it's failing the DCO. So highly likely what you did is you kind of push your change from the web interface, right?
Yeah, correct.
Exactly. So that's the issue. So you need to revert that PR, and you need to commit that PR from your terminal using the git commit -s flag.
Okay.
So that's the only issue that you see here. Besides that, everything else should be fine.
Okay, then second set of change I think came from the iOS MCN. If they are there, probably they can talk. Mostly fixes did came on the SMF and AMF. And they were around the stability, either with the bad content in the packet or optimizing, like not sending some of the messages as per the 3GPP specification, right? So those fixes we merged from iOS MCN in last few days. What else?
The fix with the AMF for the GenoVSIM profile 4.
Yeah, that is one bullet up. I thought you already covered it. Yeah. So
no, I didn't talk that. I was just in the second bullet point, so I didn't get to the third one.
Maybe you can talk about it.
Sure. Yeah. So regarding the, there is GenoVSIM itself supports 8 predefined profiles, plus this custom profile. So typically when I test any PR or when I run any test, I have all the profiles enabled, except the ones that are triggered from the core network, which are profile 5, 6, and 8. So then besides that, everything else I have it always enabled to make sure that everything, works as expected. While running this kind of tests, of course, because of time, so I try to kind of run everything in parallel. However, when I was trying to run profile 4 in parallel, which I believe is UE, the registration procedure, typically almost only 2 UEs used to pass, and the remaining UEs fail. So yesterday, Ajay kind of like created a patch, a PR in the AMF to fix that issue, and now everything is working fine. And yesterday we tested all the way up to 100 PR, 100 UEs in parallel, and everything works as expected. So that also it got fixed. What else? I don't know. Ajay, anything else on your side? I think I covered everything that we did for the
Yeah.
last week.
One more design proposal we have merged in the SMF from Iowa Simpson folk. Now, next step would be like to do some changes in the SMF. It's about same slice supporting two separate UPF. So we have
What's it about? Same as like supporting multiple DNN?
multiple UPF. Yeah,
Oh,
same
okay.
size, multiple DNN, and
Yeah.
slice ID plus DNN will act as a UPF selection logic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, it needs some changes in the SMF. Yeah, I don't think anything more. Yeah.
But Ajay, just to kind of confirm, based on the final document, only changes in the SMF are required, right? No, nowhere else. Because when that PR got open, it was supposed to be between changes in the UPF and also SMF, and that's what I was kind of wondering where would be the best place for that document.
Yeah, initially the scope was both SMF and UPF, but later we trimmed down the scope, saying that okay, there are two parts to support it, and we took one of the path where like UPF supports still just single DNN, so we don't need changes in the UPF, but SMF needs to support multiple UPF for the same slice.
Okay.
There is a chance that we may need to do changes in the UPF if the PFCP message content is not accurate. So we are relying on some of the message content. So we may need to check the code, and if required, changes. Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else? I could ask this later, but if I recall correctly, there was an issue that Joshua and Iowa State faced. So let me just turn it to a question to Joshua. Are you making solid progress, or can you report the status of connecting the Ericsson? I think it was the Ericsson radio that you had been working on.
Yeah, sure. So I think over the week we tried to do some more tests on the Ericsson. Actually, myself, I'm at some workshops, so I've been working with some other folks remotely, and we were able to get the UE connected. Also, we're able to run some hyperfs, but the thing is, the throughput that we are expecting, it's what we are getting is a little bit like much lower than what we are expecting. So that is where like we are right now. I just got off a call from a call from one of our team members on site that I was testing with. So maybe I'll reach out to like folks here to see if they may be able to help figure out like why we are receiving such lower throughput. So.
Can you just, I want to, thank you. That's great to hear that at least it's functioning, and now it's a matter of getting all the optimizations correct. What is the model of that radio?
I need to double check, but I think it's Ericsson. It's S69 something. Like I have to check the. So it's
the reason I ask is I'll go to the Slack channel, but I was going to try to start doing a little bit of an inventory, because people connect radios that we never really track, and I just wanted to see. So I want to get the info on this one.
Yeah,
I'll note right here that this model might not be quite right, but
I think it's Ericsson AIR 6941. I would have to check the
AIR
6419. Yeah, I would have to check the code again, but this is what I remember from our deployment. Yeah.
Right, so it's working, but
Yeah, the throughput,
optimal
yeah,
throughput.
yeah. And I think so right now this is for the mid-band connectivity. So later after we are able to like optimize and get everything working, we will also want to look at how we can connect the millimeter wave, because we also have like a millimeter wave on the same like radio. So, but then that's just like something we are going to be doing after we get like a very good performance on the mid-band. So,
Good, good, yeah, please do reach out. Just while you're telling about the status here, did you get the UE ransom iPerf running?
so not yet. So what I was doing was that we have like one core network deployment currently in our data center that we have been using for the Ericsson. So somehow like for the UE ransom, I tried to use the same core, like change some of the like the parameters to make it work with the UE ransom, but somehow like I think I reached out to like Gabriel, who were finding some like issues with the throughput. I think I have to redeploy the core network on another node so that we kind of like keep the data center node for just the Ericsson. But from that time, I haven't spent any much time on it because I'm currently on travel. So
Yeah,
uh,
okay,
yeah,
thanks.
yeah. But I think we should be able to get it like working after like I deploy it on a new server. I think there might be some like remnants that is like causing the connectivity issues, but I'll try again on another server and then I'll let you know.
Thanks. That Balaj just checked in a pretty substantial change to the ransom blueprint. He now believes he has it running on both two server, which was originally the case, and just run on one server, but it has been refactored enough that you might do a clean try on it.
Yes. I think I need to get it on, have to get like a separate SD core deployment for the UE ransom and then keep the one that we are using for the Ericsson so that I don't have to like change anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
one more thing to point out about that you mentioned, Larry. Also on Sunday, I did basically with Bilal, we did kind of like a check because he was also kind of facing some kind of issues with the UE ransom blueprint, but everything was working fine on my side as as we had the call last week. And then he basically just switched the server where UE ransom was deployed, and everything was just working fine. So
Good.
yeah, he also verified that.
So the only caveat here, you've got it working, he's got it working. There's now a Jenkins job to check it, but it is not yet working. So I just hadn't seen verification of it yet, but just an FYI. That's actually, I've now just sort of hit the major points of the on-ramp status, which is there is a new UE ransom blueprint. SD-RAM blueprint's been updated, and there's still some other refactoring going on. Basically, the more blueprints we added, the more we realized they weren't consistent, and so we're just cleaning a few things up, and that's still in progress. Is there anything else on any of these topics? If there's anyone on the call that wants to add another radio that's been connected to SD core, I'm all ears. No takers. So mostly just for the amusement of the folks from Iowa State and the ARA team, I just had posted a blog about my visit to the ARA Fest. And there's a picture of the robot in the soybean field you might want to take a look at.
Yeah, I read it, Larry. Thank you. That was fantastic.
It was a lot of fun. So I was glad to do that.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for mentioning us. Yeah.
Is there
Larry, I have a question. So I saw that an update on the SD run blueprint. Has it been updated on the on-ramp documentation online?
The documentation has not changed because the only thing in the blueprint that changed was the Helm chart version number.
Okay. 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 Yeah. All right. Thanks.
By the way, it's probably the case that the UE Ransim documentation for that blueprint is now out of date. It's not been updated to match the latest version of it. So the examples are probably not quite right. I need to take a look at that today.
Right. Right.
Yeah, let me just make note of that. Okay, anything else? All right, thanks everybody for participating. We'll see you again next week.